There's this unspoken agreement in film marketing that at the beginning of January, there will be a crappy movie. It will be a horror film, and it will be the first thing to be released. And 2024 got back into that mix. I know they tried to shake it up last year. Megan actually turned out to be decent. We're back to normal. This is Night Swim. This film stars Wyatt Russell and Carrie Condon, and it's currently available on Peacock with audio description. It's also available on Peacock with audio description, so I have no idea who did the narration because Peacock doesn't like people to watch credits. I've actually watched a couple films on Peacock where the film has still been playing, and it has let me into another movie. Like they don't even know where the movie ends. They can't even program the end of a movie correctly. And they'll actually take you out, like, if you've got a film that ends on those, like, where are we now type things, like those scrolls, done, gone, out, get out, go watch something else. It's so weird. Anyway, Night Swim. I don't know what to tell you about this film. There might be spoilers here because honestly, the previews don't really give you anything to go off of, so anything I tell you about this film is probably going to be a spoiler on some level. So, it's produced by Blumhouse, which, again, this dude needs to use his name better. The funny thing is that he has Blumhouse, but he also has Blumhouse Tilt. So he has this other thing where it's like he could kind of use that to push, like he could find a way. Jason Blum could find a way of not having to put his production company's label on every crap ass film that he is producing and find a way of being like, well, yeah, it's mine, but it's also on this label. So like how Miramax had Dimension, like they were like Dimension films, you knew it wasn't like highbrow, like it wasn't trying to win Oscars, because Miramax was really confusing back in the day. It was like, well, Miramax, so it's winning Oscars. Dimension, oh god, Scream, like it just kind of lets you know. I feel like Jason Blum needs to have two tiers for himself. He needs to have these are my killer films, and this is my I don't know what this is. This film is about a pool that could kill you. Yep, it's about a pool that could kill you. That's what the film's about, basically. So we have an opening sequence that gives you absolutely no context. Just shows you a family back in like 1992. There's a girl. She sees something in the pool. She goes outside. Things don't work out well for her. But we don't really know who she is. We don't really know why she's motivated to go outside. We don't know really why there's a boat in the pool to begin with. The thing that she goes out for. There's no context to anything, so I didn't care. I was like, well, bye. It's one of those scenes where you just see somebody and you're like, it wasn't really scary either. It was just kind of like predictable, because there was, again, no context given to anything. So it's very odd. It's very odd when you have like a little girl inside of a house who just like happens to look out a window and be like, oh, there's something in the pool. I should go out to the pool. Oh, I'm going out to the pool. Oh, look, I should go get the thing that's in the pool. Mm-hmm. I'll do that. Oh no, it doesn't work out well for me. Done. And we flash forward to the future. It's like, okay. Glad we had that opening sequence. That was very useful for the overall plot of the film. Anyway, we move on to Wyatt Russell, who is a rehabbing baseball player. Basically, he's a professional baseball player, and he has to take some time off to rehab from an injury, and he's moved his family to this house, and they've bought it. It's a decent sized house. It's nice. They like it because it has a lot of accessibility features already built into it, because we do see in the opening sequence briefly that she goes into her brother's room, and her brother is like, she has a brother that's got, it's on like an oxygen tank, is in bed and is like unhealthy, you know. No context given. We don't know from what. He's just unhealthy. There's some sort of a nurse that's like asking if she can leave. She's asking the parents. We hear them in the other room, like, "Is it okay for me to go?" Yeah, get out of here. We will never hear from you again. But that is why the house is accessible. So, and then there's a pool in the back. And at the time, I think it's drained because then they have to like clean it and fill it out. And they get this pool guy that comes out there after they buy the house. And the pool guy is like, "Oh, yeah, you got this great pool, man. It's actually, there's like," his explanation of it hurt my head. I'm like, this pool guy understands science way too much. He's like, "Yeah, it's like this drain here leads to like this underground stream. So basically, it's like your pool's being like get from the well, and it's being filtered, and it's actually like really good for you." I was like, this pool guy. You know what's funny is I still would have closed it off. I would have been like, that's weird. I don't care if it's really good for me. It's just a good pool, man. I just want to be able to go into a pool without worrying about what's coming from some weird ass groundwater stream, which could have pollution in it, by the way, because it's not like groundwater doesn't have pollution. So we're just going to let that come up. But now the family's like, "Yeah, that sounds awesome. The stoner totally knows what he's talking about. Well, let's do it." So their pool becomes haunted again because it's got this water that's coming up from, I don't know, hell. And this film really does not explain too much. It's and anyway, as the film goes on, since Wyatt Russell needs to heal, basically he ends up getting healed by the pool at the expense of like other things. If you like cats, I'm sorry. And that's a spoiler. Although not horrifically on screen. It's just the cat doesn't. They have a cat and then they don't have a cat. I don't know how else to describe that. Which is really funny because I don't understand. It's like they couldn't figure out how to shoot the scene because everybody knows cats don't want to go in the water. So like, how would you have gotten a cat to go in the pool to get it? Anyway, it's kind of a silly scene, but then like later on they just find its collar floating in the water and they're like, "Oh, where'd he go? Maybe he fell in and he couldn't swim." And I was like, that cat didn't fall in the damn pool. That cat didn't want to go in the pool. Have you ever seen a cat around a pool? They don't want to go in the damn pool. They don't want to. Cats don't like swimming. So they should have had a dog in this film. That first key problem, they had a cat instead of a dog. Like, so yeah, there are two other kids, and this girl throws a party. I don't know how she got alone in the pool by herself, but her friends suck. Anyway, And I don't know, there's the other kid who is he wants to audition for the swim team. That's audition's the wrong word. Obviously, I do a lot of theater. He wants to try out for the swim team. So he spends a lot of time in the pool. So there's a lot of like, ambiguous, like, ooh, is this gonna, when's the pool gonna eat somebody again? This is one of the dumbest movies I've seen in a long time. I'm just gonna be honest. Um, it has so much potential to like reveal something. And then when it finally does reveal anything to you, like in terms of like, is there a monster? Is there a creature? Like, what's happening here? When it does finally do it, you feel like you're like, well, you're too late at this point. Like, I don't care anymore. Um, and it just because then at a certain point, it's no longer about the monster. It's no longer about any sort of creature or entity or anything like that because too much other stuff has happened where they've just been like, oh, we don't want to show you that. We just want it to be about this pool. We want it to be so mysterious. Like, what's happening? Like, it's an unseen force. It's just a pool. This is a dumb, dumb movie. The audio description is fine. It doesn't ruin any of the jump scares. Not that there are any, but it doesn't ruin them. There's the one that's from the trailer where she's playing Marco Polo in the pool by herself. That scene is dumb. There isn't a scene in this film that's not dumb. Actually, there wasn't a moment where I was like, "Wow, they really did that good. That was fantastic." Um, it's all very clunky. They do a lot with. It's funny because I would say this film is very murky, and then they do a lot with like murky water, and like people just after they've sort of been infected by the pool, like they can have just like this black water that like flows out of them. Uh, anyway, don't watch this. Just do yourself a favor. Don't watch this. Just pretend it doesn't have audio description, and then just be like, nah, nah. It's such a shame because Wyatt Russell and Carrie Condon are two people who I would love to see have like explosively awesome careers and move forward. And this is going to be on their resume, and it does nothing for either of them. Um, I guess it does more for Wyatt Russell because his character has more range in terms of being this rehabbing baseball player who then gets sort of lured in because the pool is promising him like return to health basically if he just, but he's not really sacrificing people to the pool like the whole movie either. So like it's not like he's making that correlation. Um they don't do anything with that until like the tail end of the movie. It's I don't know, it's this movie doesn't have a purpose. It's just ooh, be afraid of your pool. And I love how the movie ends. It's just like, you know what? We should probably fill the pool in. Problem solved. Done. And my favorite part was they didn't try to be like, no, but we need to make Night Swim too. They're like, yeah, we're filling the pool in. Problem solved. Done, done. That's the end. So we should have done to begin with. That's what literally any family should have done already is fill in the pool. So no, there's no tag for a future Night Swim sequel. Um, they just fill in the pool. And then the pool is defeated. No, not dirt. Don't put dirt in me. I hate this movie. Um, yeah, I have nothing nice to say about it. I have seen worse, so that's shocking, I know, but I didn't completely, I wasn't completely just like out of my mind, banging my head into a wall, which I am every once in a while, which is why when I give an F grade, run, uh, run, because I'm not even gonna give this an F. But Night Swim needs needs a lot of something that it doesn't have. So I am going to give Night Swim a D minus because I can't think of one solid reason to tell you to watch this. There isn't one thing where I was like, oh, that was cool. Or one scene where I was like, oh, they did that well. Or the one thing I can say is that I don't think the acting was bad. But I don't think it was good either. It's not like there's a performance here where I'm like, wow, Wyatt Russell just killed it. I just don't think anybody did a bad job of acting. So that's what's keeping it out of the F category. But I think this is one of the dumbest movies I've seen in a long time. I wasn't scared at all. This is one of those films where I didn't used to like to watch horror movies because of jump scares. When I could see, I would have watched this and I wouldn't be scared. There's just the jump, there's nothing here. The jump scares are so quiet and lame and so obviously telegraphed that they're coming. That it's really hard to be scared by them. So anyway, do something else with your time. Watch more of my videos, subscribe, and I'll watch something else and see you guys on the other side.